And there's definitely a link between chronic stress and autoimmunity.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So cacao is a tonic. It is good for the overall body. Science has just discovered that cacao prompts stem cells in the body. They had to be able to give these soldiers a lot of it over a long period of time. If you're in this chronic stress state, how are you going to solve the problem that's creating the stress?
Yeah.
So adaptogens can mitigate the stress response and maybe give you some of that logic. And here's the classic thing. You get stressed, you end up getting sick, right? You better get out of fight or flight, or you're asking for something worse to happen.
Welcome back to another episode of The Pop. This is our short form YouTube video where we introduce the topic that we then go into really fun and interesting and in-depth detail on Patreon. Yeah. So you can hop over to Patreon to get more info versus what we deliver here today, which is we're going to go deeper into fight or flight. So last episode, we did fight or flight and how it affects the digestive system.
Yes.
But now we're going to talk about fight or flight and how it affects the immune system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
How they're correlated, how they're different. And we're going to give some info on different herbs and different frequencies and methods on how to support our body.
Yeah.
And our system.
Yeah. Cool.
I know. Going to be a fun one. So let's talk a little bit about the physiology of our immune system. Do you want to give us a little background on that?
Yeah. So when you're in fight or flight, we talked about this in the last episode. When you're in fight or flight, it does affect digestion and reproductive and immune because it takes resources. Your body will take resources from those systems and allocate it to other systems so that you can run or fight. That's the point.
Right.
So when it does that and it takes some resources from the immune system, what happens is your white blood cell counts will go down.
Okay.
That's how it affects the immune system.
Yeah. Okay. But tell me more about these white blood cells.
So there's different types and the different types do different things in the body.
Okay.
So, and this is why when people have chronic stress, some people, it can drive, it's known in medicine that stress is a contributing factor to autoimmune diseases. It's not like necessarily the cause, but it's definitely a driving factor.
Yeah.
Because the immune system gets out of balance when you're in that chronic state of fight or flight.
Yes.
So then the immune cells, they can actually get overactive, some parts of them.
That's right.
So because the immune system is complicated, it's not as easy as saying, like you say, white blood cells. Oh my word, there's macrophages and there's lymphocytes and there's many. We have natural killer cells and they all do something a little bit different.
Okay.
Some of them work together. So it's not like, but they can either get decreased or over the long haul, some of those cells can become overactive and they think they're fighting something in your system. So they go into their own fight or flight mode.
It's like a cascade.
I know.
Oh no. Yeah.
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 And then what they're doing is they're just going up against, something in your body and they're doing damage.
Right.
And there's definitely a link between chronic stress and autoimmunity.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an umbrella and the umbrella is white blood cells. And within that umbrella, there are little sort of like different armies and can you give me that analogy, for example?
Yeah. I like to liken it to like the military.
Okay.
Right. So we have the Navy and the Navy does a certain job. They fight on the water.
Yeah.
The Air Force fights in the air. Armies fight on land.
Yeah.
So it's sort of the same thing. It's close, but really what they do is they do different jobs in our body.
Yeah. So these different types of white blood cells do different jobs in our body and they fight different.
Some fight bacteria, some fight viruses, natural killer cells. Their only job is to take care of the things in your body that go rogue, the cells in your body that go rogue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when cells are not doing their job or they start reproducing and not dying off, natural killer cells will recognize that and it will actually kill them.
Wow.
That's what their job is.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how we can support that and how we can support our bodies to make more natural killer cells or to have them be really functional is what we go deeper into on the Patreon.
Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly.
Exactly.
And the basic information here is you have to get your body out of fight or flight.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the long and short of the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or else it's going to affect your digestive system, or else it's going to affect your immune system.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And here's the classic thing. You get stressed, you end up getting sick, right? You get a cold or the flu.
Yes.
So everybody knows that when you stress, you're more susceptible to getting sick.
Right.
So if there's a virus going around and you're stressed out, haven't slept, stressed at work, you're going to get sick.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then what do? You take whatever cold medicine that gets you through the day, and then you just keep going.
Yeah. Oh, no. So you're layering on the push harder, work stronger sort of dynamic, and you're not allowing your body to recover. And then that's when the cells get overactive and you end up with an autoimmune.
That can happen.
Something worse.
That can happen. Yeah.
It can happen.
So if you're sick, give yourself, in the real world, you would take a day or two off.
That's right.
Yeah. And what happens is, here's a connection that maybe this will help somebody make. If you are chronically getting viruses, and now you can't keep calling into work, now you're at that point where you're popping these cold medicine pills to get through the day because you have to go to work. You've called in sick too much. You better get out of fight or flight.
That's it.
You're asking for something worse to happen. The body, remember in the other episode we talked about when the engine light comes on, the check engine light?
Yeah.
And so if you just keep cutting that wire to the check engine light, it doesn't make the problem go away. You just create another problem.
That's right. And could potentially create a chronic problem.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've definitely have clients that have complained about that. And then it's like, well, what's the deeper cause? And what is causing all of these colds all the time?
Yeah.
And let's find out the root cause for that. Yeah.
Because really root causes too is about finding out what the stressors are.
Yes, absolutely. Whether the stressor is emotional, environmental, a relationship, a belief system, like what is the stressor?
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Because getting sick over and over again is exhausting, and it's no quality of life.
Exactly.
It's not a quality of life.
And a viral infection is a stressor.
As well.
It's just adding to it, right?
Yeah.
So you're already stressed, already depleted. The immune system gets tired. Now you're susceptible to viruses. Now you get more stressors because now you have a virus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So this is how the cycle can just get repetitive.
And it just feels like you're trying to keep your head above water.
Yeah. And really, what do you need? Just need downtime, or to go see someone who's professional like you, who can actually de-stress the body in real time.
Yeah. And so what I do is I do teach people what that actually feels like. So I call it training wheels. I'm like, I can give you training wheels, and so that you can finally experience what it's like to come out of stress, what it's like to finally come out of fight or flight. And sometimes people haven't felt that for so long that they confuse it with being tired and exhausted.
Isn't that funny? We talked about this before, the disconnect.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
we all do it. I mean, I still can get in those places of just
so can I.
No idea.
Right.
Until finally you're either so run down and sometimes, an illness is that, that check.
Right.
Like, hello.
Hey.
We're trying to tell you something.
I'm whispering. Don't make me yell.
Check engine lights on.
Yeah,
Let's
don't
go.
Make me yell at you. I will take you down.
I know,
the body's like, I know what to do.
So it is amazing once you can get into that relaxed state and remember what that's really like.
Yeah.
We have a client that we've worked with.
Yeah.
And her state is so heightened that she's resistant to the relaxation state.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
You helped her to calm down. She finally got calm. And then she doesn't want to come back.
I know.
And it's like, oh, my word, that would have helped her so much. She's having so many issues.
I know. But what I say to people in that situation is you've got to do it little by little.
Yeah,
it's
right.
It's like dipping your toe into the water.
Yeah.
Dip your toe into the water and know that you can come out of fight or flight and that all the plates aren't going to fall, that your life isn't going to derail. And then your nervous system goes, oh, it's okay if I'm not hypervigilant.
Yeah.
And then you can add more time to that and more time to that so that your body isn't going into fight or flight or we're trying to relax.
Because the story they tell themselves is the hypervigilance is how they protect themselves, right?
Absolutely. 110%.
Yeah. If I stay alert, nothing will happen.
Correct.
It's like, oh, but that's the wrong signal.
Oh.
Your body's going to become alert if you actually sense a danger. You don't have to be hypervigilant all the time.
And it's also even a broader sense of awareness when you're not hypervigilant. You're
so
actually, because when you're in heightened state, you're only able to see this lane. You're not able to see a bigger lane.
Yeah, that's right.
I know.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's talk about ways that we can support our bodies in this. And I know we talked about what I do, but let's talk about what you do with your herbs.
With the
and let's
herbs,
debunk some of these like buzzwords that are out there.
Yeah.
And let's debunk some of these buzz herbs as well.
Yes.
Let's give a broader picture of that.
So it's important to know the causes of the stress, right?
Yeah.
So that's the one thing, somebody should figure out. If they're not coming to me or seeing you, they should figure out the causes.
Yeah.
If the cause is an emotional chronic stressor, people are in toxic relationships or they're in a bad job, right? Yeah, exactly. Right. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, the herbs for that are adaptogens, right? Because adaptogens mitigate the stress response.
Yeah.
That's their job. That's why they're adaptogens. They help your body adapt to stress.
I gotcha. Okay. I follow that.
So as the system is allocating resources, it's taking resources from your immune system and putting it over here so you can run or be vigilant.
Yes. Yes.
It helps to mitigate that a bit so that your immune system still has some resources.
Gotcha.
Digestion still has some resources.
Okay.
Right? Reproductive system still has resources.
Yes.
So that's what that's for.
Okay.
It's become a buzzword.
Yeah.
And I've seen on social media people talk about certain plants. They call them adaptogens. They're not adaptogens.
Ooh.
Yeah. I saw somebody calling cacao an adaptogen.
No.
It's not an adaptogen.
It is not an adaptogen.
No.
Yeah. Tell us more about both. Tell us about why cacao is not an adaptogen and tell us what adaptogens are, because I feel like that's what happens, right? Media, social media, they pick a word and then they turn it into a marketing term.
Yeah, because if you have a buzzword and everybody's talking about it and you have something to sell and you put it under that buzzword, you're going to sell more product.
I know.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Business is business.
Right.
But we want to be well informed. And that's the point of our podcast is to get people informed so they can make better decisions, right?
Absolutely.
And stay balanced.
In their immune system.
In everything, right? In their nervous system and everything, right?
Yeah.
So
why would someone call cacao an adaptogen?
Well, because it's a buzzword and they're just trying to sell it. They're just trying to sell it.
Yeah. What actually is cacao?
So cacao is a tonic. Yeah. It is good for the overall body.
Yeah.
It does have some stimulating effects, slight. It does have some caffeine, right?
Yeah.
Science has just discovered that cacao prompts stem cells in the body.
What?
Yep. And when I was watching someone on social media talk about this, they said, but don't take it with dairy. Dairy binds to the, what do you call antioxidants? Anyway, polyphenols. It binds to the polyphenols.
Yeah.
And then you can't get them. I'm like, I got to research that. Well, it does bind to them.
Yeah.
Until it reaches the lower digestive system.
And then it releases them?
So here we go. You have to be educated on how cacao works and you take it accordingly.
Yeah.
If you want polyphenols in the upper digestion and to get released right away,
then you don't mix it with
Make
dairy.
sure there's no milk.
Yeah.
But if you want it to release in the lower digestion, you drink it with milk.
Interesting.
It's like wrapping it in a time-release capsule.
Oh, how cool.
Isn't that fun?
That
Just
is super cool.
facts.
And somebody with like small intestinal issues would want to drink it with a dairy because that's where it would be the best, because when it gets into the lower digestion, it gets released.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess, so this is kind of new science.
Yeah.
So releasing polyphenols at this time or that time, I guess has to be seen what you would do that for.
Yeah. We
right?
don't know. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Right.
But it's not like if you drink your cacao in a milk drink.
It doesn't mitigate its benefits.
It does not.
It just changes them.
It changes them and it just makes them release
differently.
Yes, differently. It's an extended release thing.
All right.
I know. Just fun facts I found out about cacao.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Love. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are adaptogens? Give me some examples of adaptogens, maybe where they came from.
Yep.
Give me a little history.
Yep. These plants have been used for thousands of years in different areas of the world. And they were classified as tonics.
Yes.
These are herbs that you take that tonify the body. And what does that mean? It means that it's just good for the overall body and it makes you feel good. You know, when you think of toning, think of like when you tone a muscle.
Yeah.
Now you've made it stronger. It works better. It's resilient. So this is tonics for the body. World War II is really where we got the research on it. And this comes out of Russia. So Russia, for its Russian soldiers.
Got it.
During World War II, they wanted their scientists to look for a local plant that they could give to the soldiers because something that grew there. It was cheap. They could just harvest a lot of it. And it made their soldiers resilient to war.
Whoa. That's a big statement.
Physically, emotionally, mentally. That's what they were looking for.
Okay. So overall,
right? Overall resilience to stress. Yeah. And, you know, if you're a soldier in war, boy, they were looking for something that could really do that job.
No kidding. Yeah.
And they landed on one. Siberian ginseng.
Okay.
Also known as Eleuthero.
Oh, yeah. I've definitely heard that word.
Right?
I've taken that supplement. It's standard process.
Yes.
Eleuthero.
So what they did was they coined the phrase adaptogen.
Okay.
And it's a plant that helps your body adapt to stress.
Clear as day.
That is super specific. So first of all, that has to be the plant. The plant has to be classified as that. That's the first criteria.
Yes.
The other criteria is it can't do harm.
Okay.
So that had to be the other thing.
That's a big one.
They had to be able to give these soldiers a lot of it over a long period of time.
Yeah.
So they couldn't be giving their soldiers some plant that was going to create some issue in the body, and now they have another problem.
Right, because then you're losing your army. Yeah, that's not the
right?
point. Yeah, got it.
So the other thing is it had to have no affinity. So when a plant has an affinity, it means that it wants to go to a certain part of the body.
It wants to work with and
so for example,
part of the body.
Lungwort. Okay. If somebody takes lungwort, that herb has an affinity to the lung.
Makes sense.
So it wants to go there. So it's going to be most supportive to the lungs.
So it's not for the overall body.
Exactly. Now, herbs they don't work like that. They're not drugs. They're not medicines like that. So they aren't bullets. They do have other actions, right? Because there's many constituents to a plant. So you take lungwort, you are going to get some other benefits, but its primary action is in the lung.
Correct. Okay, got it.
If something is an adaptogen, it cannot have a primary action.
Got it.
That's another class, another indicator of a plant to be in that class. So if somebody was to claim that lungwort was an adaptogen, it's already a no, just because it can't have an affinity.
Yeah.
So these are just interesting things. So when people talk about this is an adaptogen, that's an adaptogen, it's a very specific class made by scientists.
Correct.
It has to fit in that class.
Yes, it has to meet those criteria.
Period. Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So there is a class of those.
Yeah.
Everybody knows ashwagandha.
Everybody knows it.
That is an adaptogen. It's a true adaptogen. It's a calming adaptogen. No, what's fun is I've had a couple of people come to me and say, oh, I love ashwagandha. I take that. It gives me energy. And some of them I say it and some of them I don't, but it's not giving you energy. It's calming your system so that you feel energetic.
Yes, that's a big difference.
Because knowing these things. So, okay, I study this. This is what I do. I study this every day. When somebody comes in and they say that to me.
Yeah.
Now I know how to take care of them because that's giving me a signal that they're so worn out and their fatigue is unrecognizable by them.
Whoa.
So see how it gives you a different level? Then I can recommend other herbs to go with the ashwagandha.
Yes.
For that specific scenario. And that's why we talked before about how we listen to people.
Absolutely.
You have to listen to how they describe what they feel.
Yes.
Because then it tells you where they're at and then how to support them best.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So if somebody tells you ashwagandha is giving them energy,
that's a big clue.
They're so buzzed that they're now tired and they don't even recognize it.
No, I agree.
And then when something they take gives them, and it's not calming like a Nervine. So like, here's a strong Nervine, kava, right?
Yeah.
That's a muscle relaxer, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to drink kava, you're going to feel calm.
Right.
So adaptogens, again,
it's a different kind of
gentle.
Calm, though. Mm-hmm. With kava, you can't access. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, you know you're calm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You are not going to get up and ride a bike.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So it mitigates that stress.
Yes.
That's creating you to feel tired.
Got it.
And when you mitigate that, they actually feel more energized.
Clearer.
So exactly what you said before, it gives them the access to the energy.
Right.
Which is different than an herb that coffee gives you energy.
Correct.
Coffee doesn't give you energy.
Well,
it does. It is stimulating. So that's not true.
Okay.
So half
the truth.
Half true that it gives you energy. It is stimulating. So it does give you energy.
Yeah.
It also blocks the signals to fatigue.
Whoa.
It blocks the signals that tell you you're tired.
So is that why you crash after having coffee?
Yeah. So you're getting
you're
getting kind of a double thing.
Yeah.
You're getting the stimulant. So at first you drink it.
Yeah.
But caffeine doesn't last that long.
No, it doesn't. Oh,
it's not a long.
Yeah.
On some people.
Yeah.
But because it's some people are sensitive to caffeine. So I take that back. I do have a couple of clients that can't even drink tea. They're so sensitive to caffeine.
I know.
So we're back to individualization again. We always talk about that.
You can't escape it.
You can't make generalizations. You're right.
You can't make generalizations.
You're correct. You're correct.
Yeah.
But it's just a fun fact about coffee.
It is a fun fact. I didn't think of it. I only thought that coffee gave you energy. I didn't know it blocked the tired.
Yeah. Isn't that fun? Yeah.
Oh. What else? So there's adaptogens, and then also what I find with adaptogens is that it brings you back into balance, which is something we talked a lot about on Patreon.
Yeah.
Is this idea of balance.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. But then in that moment of balance, in that scenario of balance, you now have the bandwidth to handle the stressors that were causing the issue. And that's really the space that we're trying to create for people is the ability for you to be able to come back online in a physical and emotional and stable way that you can handle the stress so that it doesn't continue to compound.
Yeah.
It doesn't continue to affect.
And in a previous video, we talked about the brain.
Yes.
And we talked about how the stress hormones affect the brain.
Correct.
And how it takes away your ability to be logical.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So if you're in this chronic stress state, how are you going to solve the problem that's creating the stress?
Right.
So adaptogens can mitigate the stress response and maybe give you some of that logic.
Absolutely.
Then you start to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And can we just talk about how meditation is a major tool for accessing the logical and creative brain?
Absolutely. Because meditation, first of all, takes you out of fight or flight 100%.
100%.
Yes. And then it uses the medicine cabinet within your body. So what I love about the work that we do and teach is that there are so many different ways to access it, right? There's the herbs, there's the frequencies, and there's meditation. Because all the hormones and different things that you were talking about through the HPA axis, which we'll talk about in a minute, is actually within our body already.
Yeah.
And when we meditate, we can access those hormones. We can rebalance that stress system so that we can actually begin to heal ourselves. Yeah. So I did mention something. Meditation works with pituitary gland. And something that I mentioned was the HPA axis. Can you explain to our viewers the HPA axis?
Yes.
And what it means and why everybody's using it as a buzzword.
Yeah. So it's that cascade that creates the stress response. That's how your adrenals make stress hormones. So your brain gets alerted to a threat. it sends a signal to the hypothalamus. That's the H. So the hypothalamus gets alerted, sends a signal to the pituitary. The pituitary is the master gland over all the other endocrine glands. It's
yes, it is.
Signaler.
Sure.
Sure. That might be English. It signals the other endocrine glands to release hormones. So in the stress response,
yes,
it tells the adrenal glands to release the stress hormones.
Right.
So that's what that is.
Yeah.
So they're referring to like a sympathetic state.
So the easier way to say is the HPA axis is either sympathetic or parasympathetic, fight or flight or rest.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it could be fight or flight. The pituitary gland is signaling the endocrine glands, hey guys, it's time to buckle up. We're about to go into a stressful situation. Or as you mentioned in meditation, it can signal the body to say, we're safe. Let's start healing.
Because with pituitary, with meditation, you're signaling the pituitary, correct? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. The pituitary and the pineal gland.
Oh, the pineal. That's right. Yes. That's right.
Yeah. You can actually choose which one you want to work with and actually actively work with them.
All right. That's cool.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. You can become the driver of your own endocrine system, which is kind of amazing.
Oh, that's so cool.
So there's like levels to it, right? There's first like, let's get your body in balance.
Yeah.
Let's get your nervous system in balance. Once that's in balance, I'm like, then we can really get to fun stuff. I'm like, let's become the driver, the creator of the entire system with meditation.
Right.
And so in Patreon, we are going to be having, we're going to be uploading 2 really cool aspects, right? We're going to be uploading your classes.
Yes.
Which are going to be
about. Going to be uploading a class on adaptogens. That's the first one we're going to upload.
Fantastic. So that when you do recommend adaptogens, people can go and watch this.
Yeah.
And then I'll be uploading some meditations as well that will teach you how to become the driver of your brain and your entire system.
Nice. Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. We're also going to have really cool infographics and documents that they can read and learn from. Yeah. I just want to empower people as much as possible.
Absolutely. And debunk some of the myths that go around, right? To keep people empowered and not buying a lot of products that you don't need.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do need and you just know how to use them properly.
Get the most benefit out of them.
Exactly.
And so you don't have this huge medicine cabinet where you're wondering, is it because this Instagram influencer said I should use this thing because it's going to be the silver bullet? Let's find out what it's. I'm not saying it's not good.
Right.
I'm not saying you shouldn't buy it.
Right.
But I'm saying let's find out what it's actually for.
Exactly.
And do you need it?
Exactly. Yeah. And we're into a longevity. So we take a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But we know why we're taking it.
Yes. Absolutely.
Taking everything on purpose. And then we test. Yeah.
To see.
To make sure.
Do we still need to take it? How much do we need to take? Is there a different brand? Is there a different amount? Is there?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I love getting into the nitty gritty and knowing that I'm no longer throwing spaghetti on the wall.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I think that we did cover a lot and I think that we hit all the points.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this video. Check out our other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you hit the notifications, you'll get notified when we upload our next video. Also, check out our Patreon because that's where we have a lot more information. We have a lot of things uploaded and you just get more education there. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you in the next video.